We have here two heavy hitters in the bicycle industry with some big news here. ENVE being sold to a private investment firm, which we'll talk about in just a second, whether or not this is a good or bad look for them. We'll talk about how their sales have been going and why the company probably sold them, and then also talk about the future with this private investment firm, PV3, and then also Cannondale, which is a very small story, but we'll kind of talk and elaborate on that because I have had experience in the past with talking with other stores with Cannondale as well and talk about where they're going. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video, but let's go ahead and jump into ENVE as a company. So if you guys did not know, ENVE is a bicycle wheel manufacturer that has now dabbled into parts like seat posts, handlebars, stems, and also now frames. They make complete frames from road frames, endurance frames, and do-it-all frames as well. They were bought out by another company called Amir, I believe in 2016 for $50 million as a company, and they have recently Amir has sold them after that now to a private investment firm. Now, we all know ENVE as a heavy hitter in the industry. My store in particular, we have not been selling ENVE as much. My history with ENVE in the past has been back when they used to be hooked rims and they used to do Chris King hubs and they used to, make the 6.7 wheel sets. We used to sell ENVE pretty well off, but we used to have customers come back in after we would sell them ENVE wheels, and they get emails directly from them after registering for their warranty, basically giving those consumers upgrade options, ex-nay the dealership, and basically go directly through ENVE like, hey, trade in your wheel set, we'll give you this much for your wheel set, and you guys can go ahead and get yourself a brand new pair of ENVE wheels. And we had a couple customers tell this information, and now, ever since Hookless has come about with them, we barely sell ENVE. I can't even think over the past 3 or 4 years the last time I sold a pair of ENVE wheel sets. Not saying that they have a bad reputation at all, because they are still a really, really good wheel set. They're made in Utah, and I don't have anything bad to say about the company except for just the Hookless part of it, but that's just my take on it. In terms of actually overall wheel set performance, there's a ton of people riding them in the Pro Tour, which we'll talk about Team Total Energies, and obviously the GOAT himself, Mr. Pagacha here. But that was our experience as a store, and we have definitely slowed down on selling ENVE in general. During the pandemic time, I think around like 2022, they came out with the ENVE Melee, which they are now, or Melee, whatever you want to call it. It's a complete road bike frame set that can take up to a 700 by 35C tire. It has really nice geometry on there, and they make a full cockpit for Team Total Energy. Total Energy was a team that was riding Specialized now, but they have since inserted themselves and now supply Team Total Energy with frames, wheels, handlebar, stem, the whole 9 yards. And now this is going to be that. So ENVE's presence in the bicycle industry, we all know them. They're a huge juggernaut in terms of what they do for the industry, and their product definitely has backing. It sells itself. And then not only that, you have the number one, I would just say, the number one rider in the world in terms of Pagacha, in terms of he's likable, he's a monster, he breaks away on rides for 80 kilometers, does it all. How could you not like the guy himself? Team UAE is riding them with Colnago frames, but their wheel sets are bright bull with those bright white logos, and his cockpit itself is gorgeous. It's a beautiful cockpit itself. So now, if that's all going fine and dandy, you might be asking yourself, Grant, why would a company who has this company, if they're doing well in the industry, why would they sell them now? You know, that's always a question to ask. If the company is producing, if it has sales, why would they go ahead and sell them if it's not producing? And it seems to be that Amir has an umbrella of companies underneath it. So after this article broke, people were kind of wondering, who is this private investment firm, yada, yada, yada. They are a Utah-based private investment firm, and they are also close to where ENVE's headquarters are. ENVE sent out an email when this news broke, basically saying, hey, we got bought out, or we were sold to someone else. What do you guys have to worry about as consumers? And they basically said nothing. It's going to be same song and dance, but hopefully with this going in the right direction. As I mentioned before, I said that ENVE is, or with Amir Sports, they were a whole umbrella of companies. They had Fila, they had I think Mavic at one point. They have Wilson. They have a bunch of stuff on here in terms of fashion and also performance sports. Now, ENVE is kind of designed behind. I couldn't find a price of what they sold them for either. If someone knows, please let me know. But obviously, if you buy them for 50 million back in 2000, whatever it was, and then they probably dumped a good amount of money into them in terms of expanding, going with teams and stuff like that. It costs money to run a business, so I'd love to know what that number is. But in this whole article right here, I was basically summing up saying, hey, this private investment firm based in Utah wanted to be with ENVE for the longest time. They have a better vision with a private firm that doesn't have all of their hands on something else. They can focus on growing this business and going ahead and doing what's best for this company. We have to go ahead and figure out if that's the truth, if that's the right thing. But it's not all bad and down and gloomy. You get a company that invests in you. You get a company that's just one-off and says, hey, we want to go ahead and we believe in you. They might listen to teams' needs more. They might listen to general managers more and figure out how to go ahead and right the ship if it needs righting. I will say this, the cycling industry as a whole is just kind of crazy as is. So any kind of change everyone's looking for a change. Everyone's looking for a solution, and there might not be a solution out there. It might just be waited out to figure out what's going on, and things need to get bad before they get worse. But basically saying the filings show ENVE and Armada have combined revenue of $57 million in 2022, accounting for just 1.2% of Amir's total sales. So maybe that's why Amir sold it to this place, because of the fact that they just figured, hey, it's not doing the sales they want it for as it's such a massive company. Maybe for a one-off company, they might be happy with those numbers, but who knows? So we'll have to figure out what this means for ENVE in the future and what goes on. I don't think it's bad news, to be honest with you. You got this guy literally promoting your product like crazy. Their wheels are still selling. ENVE has been, it's an American-made company. They make a ton of different options in terms of road bikes for people, in terms of custom road bikes, mass-produced frames, mass-produced wheels, different depths and stuff like that. So we'll have to follow that story more later on. But then also we have this news right here. Cannondale reduces workforce as part of a reorganization. And again, I've mentioned this just in the past ENVE story, and I've talked about this multiple times. The whole cycling industry is going through a crazy time. They basically said Cannondale has reduced its workforce by less than 1%. And I'll be honest with you guys, they're reporting this saying it's 1%. Usually, you would assume it's more. If you do some digging, you can kind of see on Cannondale's LinkedIn. If you go on LinkedIn, you can basically see who's looking for work. And there's a ton of people who are still employed there that are looking for work or saying, hey, I'm open to talking about negotiating. Basically saying that they don't feel, not secure, but basically looking for different opportunities. If you're looking for work at your place, you're either not happy or you're not feeling secure there. So that's the case right there as well. And also a bunch of people have reached out in terms of letting me know this information, saying, hey, I was here, now I'm not there. So yeah. And this isn't crazy news because of the fact, like I said, if it just is 1%, back in the day, we had Google do it, we had Amazon do it. Every single company right now is downsizing. There's a crazy amount of inflation. There's a crazy amount of hirings for work back in the day. So now they're just trying to get those numbers down right. But Cannondale has also had some success in the recent years with the launch of the brand new Super 6 Evo 4. This bicycle was the talk of the town, not only for their the crazy good looks of the bicycle, the updates to it, but they made it a BSA bottom bracket. They made it easier to work on. They made it with a Delta steer, so it's lighter. So it's lightweight, it's aero, it's the bicycle that everyone wants, but they also hit the mark in the head with a, I know that thumbnail. They also hit the nail on the head in terms of pricing with this bicycle. This bicycle right here, I think, is the best price point bike that I've seen from a major brand out there that sells to dealers. I'm not going to say Canyon, but this is $5,500 for a Super 6 Evo, full carbon fiber frame, Ultegra Di2, carbon fiber wheels, and a Vision handlebar carbon fiber ergonomic for $5,500. They have the price point really, really good for that bike. It's really, really nice. So I think they do a good job. Did my camera just move? What the hell is that? I think they do a good job of that. But obviously, if we're downsizing, things are not looking the best. Not looking the best. They're just trying to go ahead and correct their ship again, like I said. Pon owns this brand. If you guys don't know who Pon is, Pon owns a lot of bicycle companies. I think they own Cervelo, Cannondale. I'm drawing blanks, but they are a huge big company in the bicycle industry, and they own a ton of people in there. So we have to go ahead and watch this as well. But this is basically the only news we got was just that they've lowered their workforce by less than 1%. Now, in terms of other dealers I talk to, because obviously I go ahead and shoot these videos, I talk to these dealers when I'm there. When I was talking to these dealers, and even when I talked to this rep about their bicycles, I said, hey, I like your bikes, Mr. Cannondale person. What's the deal with these bikes? How are they? Basically, the Cannondale people told me that they have no inventory. And usually when no inventory happens, you're a retailer. You know, obviously people say, oh, they don't have inventory because of the fact that it's slow season, whatever it is. The only way you're going to make money is by having product. So if you have no inventory to sell, that is going to hurt you. Or maybe they're trying to go ahead and pay off, taking their Super 6 Evo money and paying off their scalpel money, paying off their electric bike money, paying off their hybrid money. Because right now, like I always mention, I have brands myself and our high-end rotor selling, and sometimes companies will take that money that they're selling from and paying off stuff that is collecting debt on there from other inventory. So I don't know how bad that situation is, but again, they're trying to get ahead of it by going ahead and reorganizing by 1% on there. I think there should be rumors of a new System 6, which is their aero bike, because it hasn't been redone since like 2018, 2019. So we'll have to wait and see with that. But yeah, that's all this basic article said. Cannondale announced their new global organization structure, and they also have this huge team with EF. They're huge with the RAFA, but I don't know how it's going to play out with RAFA in the next year as well. But we'll have to follow that as well. But anyways, guys, this is kind of a double parter on here. There is always a ton of news breaking literally daily with these industry stuff, and you have to kind of hear it out, read in between the lines. There's more to it than meets the eye with these companies. So, like I said, we have seen major people fall. We have seen major people fall in the past. And let's just keep an eye out, guys. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you again so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.